"We're giving your inheritance to your sister. She has 3 kids to feed," Dad said on my 40th birthday. "You don't have kids, so you don't need it." I didn't fight. I just asked, "Did Grandma know?" His face went pale. The next morning, Grandma's lawyer called them with a court order. The words hung in the air like a death sentence delivered over birthday cake. "We're giving your inheritance to your sister," Dad said, not even looking up from cutting the store-bought vanilla cake with Happy 40th written in blue icing. "She has 3 kids to feed. You don't have kids, so you don't need it." My fork stopped halfway to my mouth. Mom nodded along like this was perfectly reasonable dinner conversation. My sister Jennifer smiled that small, satisfied smile I'd seen 1,000 times before. I set the fork down carefully. 30 years of being the responsible one, the stable one, the one who never asked for anything. And on my 40th birthday, they decided I didn't deserve what my grandmother left me because I made different life choices than my sister. I didn't yell, didn't argue, just asked one question. "Did Grandma know? When she made her will, did she know you'd do this?" Dad's face went pale. Mom's hand froze on her wine glass. The next morning, Grandma's lawyer called them with a court order. Turned out, Grandma knew exactly what she was doing, and she'd made sure no one could touch what was mine. My name is Troy Mitchell. I'm 40 years old. I work as a senior accountant for a regional grocery store chain, managing finances for 17 locations across 3 states. I make $78,000 a year, live in a modest 2-bedroom condo, drive a 7-year-old Honda Civic, and I'm very, very good with money. I'm also child-free by choice. No kids, never wanted them, made that decision at 25 and never looked back. This fact, more than anything else in my life, has defined how my family sees me. My sister Jennifer is 43. She has 3 kids, ages 12, 9, and 6. She's been married twice, currently single, works part-time at a dental office, and has made struggling single mother her entire identity. She's not struggling, really. She gets child support from both ex-husbands, lives in our parents' old house rent-free, and has never been told no by anyone in our family. I've been told no my entire life. Let me back up to how we got to that birthday dinner, because understanding my family requires understanding how they've always worked. Jennifer was the golden child from birth, first grandchild, only girl for the first 3 years, the baby everyone doted on. When I came along, I was the boy, the quiet one, the easy one who didn't need much attention. Jennifer got piano lessons, dance classes, the lead in school plays. I got told, "You don't need those things, you're fine on your own." When Jennifer got pregnant at 21 with her first kid, everyone rallied. Baby showers, furniture, money, childcare. "She's so young, she needs help, we're family." When I graduated college with my accounting degree at 22, I got a card with $50 in it and, "Good luck, we know you'll be fine." The pattern continued for 2 decades. Jennifer's crises were family emergencies requiring all hands on deck. My achievements were met with, "That's nice, honey." Grandma Eleanor was different. She was my dad's mother, a sharp-minded woman who'd been a bookkeeper for 40 years before retiring. She noticed things. She saw the disparity, and unlike my parents, she actually talked to me like I mattered. Every Sunday, I'd drive to her place for lunch, just me and her. We'd talk about numbers, about books, about life. She never once asked when I was having kids, never treated my choices as a phase or a character flaw. "You know what you want," she told me once. "That's rare. Most people just follow the script and wonder why they're miserable." When I was 35, Grandma Eleanor sold her house and moved into assisted living. She was healthy, just tired of maintaining property. She was also quietly, methodically getting her affairs in order. She called me one afternoon. "Troy, I need you to witness some paperwork. Can you come by?" I went that evening. Her lawyer, Mr. Harrison, a man I'd never met, was there with documents. "I'm updating my will," she said simply. "I want you here as a witness and because it concerns you." She was leaving me everything, the house sale money, her investments, her savings, approximately $340,000. "Grandma," I said, throat tight, Jennifer has kids. Mom and Dad will what? Guilt you? Pressure you? Troy, I've watched your parents give everything to your sister for 40 years while you got scraps.
I've watched Jennifer take and never once think about anyone but herself. This is my money, my decision, and I'm leaving it to the person who actually talks to me like a human being, not an ATM. But no buts. You're responsible, you're kind, you visit me every week not because you want something, but because you care. Jennifer hasn't been here in 8 months. Your parents come once a month out of obligation and spend the whole time on their phones. You're getting the inheritance, and I'm making sure it's legally airtight so no one can contest it.
Mr. Harrison nodded. I've structured it with specific language. The will explicitly names Troy as sole beneficiary with several clauses that make it nearly impossible to challenge. Eleanor's been very clear about her wishes. I signed as a witness, still feeling like this was a dream. "Don't tell your parents yet," Grandma said. "Not until I'm gone. I don't want them bothering me about it." "I won't." She smiled. "Good boy. Now, how's work? Tell me about that audit you mentioned." That was 3 years ago. Grandma passed away 6 months ago, peaceful, in her sleep, at 87. I was devastated. She'd been my anchor in a family that never quite knew what to do with me. The reading of the will was scheduled for 2 weeks after her funeral. Mr. Harrison called me the day before. "Troy, I need to prepare you. Your grandmother's will is very clear, but your parents have been asking questions. I've told them nothing. Tomorrow everything will be revealed. Are you ready?" "Ready as I'll be." "Good. And Troy, your grandmother specifically requested I give you this if anyone tried to pressure you about the inheritance." He emailed me a scanned letter in Grandma's handwriting. "Troy, if you're reading this, someone's trying to take what's yours. Don't let them. You earned this by being the only one who loved me for me, not my money. Stand firm. You're stronger than they think. Love, Grandma." I printed it and kept it in my wallet. The will reading was tense. My parents sat on one side of Mr. Harrison's conference table. Jennifer was next to them with her kids in the waiting room. I sat alone on the other side. Mr. Harrison read the will, standard stuff about personal effects, then the money. "To my grandson Troy Mitchell, I leave the entirety of my estate, including all financial assets, totaling approximately $340,000. This decision is made with full mental capacity and clear intent. Troy has been my faithful companion and the only family member who treated me with genuine care and respect in my final years." Silence. Then Dad's face went red. "That can't be right. She didn't mean all of it. Jennifer has kids." "The will is very explicit," Mr. Harrison interrupted. "Eleanor was adamant. I advised her that this might cause family friction. She said, and I quote, 'Good, maybe it'll teach them something.'" Mom started crying. "This isn't fair. Jennifer needs help. Troy doesn't need that money." "Need isn't the question," Mr. Harrison said calmly. "Eleanor's wishes are clear and legally binding. Troy is the sole beneficiary." Jennifer just stared at me. You knew, and you didn't tell us." "Grandma asked me not to." "Because you manipulated her." Jennifer's voice rose. "You spent time with her just to get her money." "I spent time with her because she was my grandmother, and I loved her. The money was her choice, not mine." "That's not true," Dad snapped. "You poisoned her against us, against Jennifer's kids. You know Jennifer struggles." "Jennifer gets $3,000 a month in child support. She lives rent-free in your old house. She works 15 hours a week. She's not struggling. She's comfortable and still wants more. She has kids to feed. And I have a life to live. Grandma left me this money because I was there for her, every Sunday for 5 years. Where were you?" No one answered. We left the lawyer's office in hostile silence. I thought that was the end of it. Legal. Done. Settled. I was wrong. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, please hit subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I read every single comment and it truly means the world to me. Thank you for your support. Now back to the story. 3 months passed.
My parents called occasionally, awkward conversations where they'd hint that I should do the right thing and help family. I ignored the hints. Then came my birthday. Mom insisted on dinner at their place. "Just family," she said. "We need to move past this." I should have known better. I arrived at 6. Jennifer was there with her kids. The kids were fine, actually sweet. They had no idea what was happening. Jennifer smiled at me like nothing was wrong. Dinner was tense. Small talk about work, the kids' school, Mom's garden. Then cake, store-bought vanilla with Happy 40th Troy in blue icing. Dad cut the cake, handed me a piece, then casually, like discussing the weather. "We've been talking, your mom and I. We think the fair thing to do is give your inheritance to Jennifer. She needs it more. She's got 3 kids to feed. You don't have kids, so you don't really need it." I stopped mid-bite. "What?"
"Your grandmother was old when she made that will," Mom added. "She didn't understand how much Jennifer struggles. We're her parents. We know what's fair." "It's not your decision," I said slowly. "We're asking you to do the right thing," Dad pressed. "Transfer the money to Jennifer. It's what your grandmother would have wanted if she'd known." "Known what? That Jennifer would use 'I have kids' as a reason to take everything that's not hers?" "You don't understand what it's like to raise children," Jennifer said, voice tight. "Every day is a struggle, every expense. You live alone in your little condo with no responsibilities? I have 3 lives depending on me." "You chose that," I said. The table went silent. "You chose to have 3 kids," I repeated. "You chose to marry men who didn't work out. You chose to work part-time. Those were your choices, and they don't entitle you to my inheritance." "Family takes care of family," Mom's voice cracked. "Does it? Because I don't remember family taking care of me. I remember family giving Jennifer everything and expecting me to be fine with scraps. I remember working through college while Jennifer got her rent paid. I remember every achievement I had being ignored while Jennifer's mediocrity was celebrated." "That's not fair," Dad started. "You're right. It's not fair. None of this has ever been fair. But Grandma saw it. She saw how you treated me, and she left me that money knowing exactly what she was doing." I stood up. "Did Grandma know?" I asked quietly. "Did she know when she made that will? Did she know you'd try to do this?" Dad's face went pale. Mom looked at her plate. "Did she tell you? Did she say anything about leaving the money to me?" "She mentioned it a year before she died. She said she was leaving everything to you because you were the only one who cared about her." "And what did you say?" "I told her that wasn't fair, that Jennifer had kids, that you'd understand if we redirected it after she passed." There it was. "You planned this," I said. "You knew for a year that she wanted me to have it, and you've been planning to take it away ever since." "It's not taking," Dad said defensively. "It's redistributing fairly." "It's theft. You're trying to override a legal will because you don't agree with it." "We're her parents. We have the right." "No, you don't." I grabbed my coat. "Thank you for dinner. Happy birthday to me." I left. Jennifer was yelling something behind me. I didn't listen. I sat in my car, hands shaking. Then I called Mr. Harrison. Voicemail. It was 8 p.m. on a Friday. "Mr. Harrison, this is Troy Mitchell. My parents just tried to pressure me into giving my inheritance to my sister. They admitted my grandmother told them a year ago about the will, and they've been planning to override it. I need to know if there's anything I should do legally. Please call me back." I drove home, barely seeing the road. Spent the night staring at the ceiling, Grandma's letter on my nightstand. Saturday morning, my phone rang. "Mr. Harrison." "Troy, I got your message. Can you come to my office Monday morning?" "Is something wrong?" "Not wrong, but there are things I need to tell you that your grandmother asked me to keep confidential until someone tried exactly what your parents just tried." Monday morning, I sat in Mr. Harrison's office again. He pulled out a file. "Your grandmother anticipated this. Not hoped for it, anticipated it. She knew your parents would try to redirect the inheritance, so she put specific safeguards in place." He opened the file.
Inside were documents, letters, recordings. Eleanor recorded several video statements about her will. In them, she explicitly states that if anyone attempts to pressure you, coerce you, or legally challenge the will on the grounds that you don't need it or that Jennifer needs it more, there are consequences. What kind of consequences? Your parents were set to receive $20,000 each from a separate account. A thank you for raising her son, she called it. But she included a clause. If they attempt to interfere with your inheritance in any way, they forfeit that $20,000, and it goes to you as well. I stared at him. He also, he continued, wrote letters to be delivered to your parents and Jennifer if they contested the will or pressured you. He gave me permission to read them if this situation arose. Would you like to hear? I nodded. He pulled out 3 sealed envelopes, opened the one marked David and Susan, my parents. The letter was in Grandma's shaky handwriting.
David and Susan, if you're reading this, you've done exactly what I expected. You've tried to take Troy's inheritance and give it to Jennifer. I'm disappointed, but not surprised. You've been doing this his entire life, giving Jennifer everything and expecting Troy to accept nothing. Let me be clear. Troy earned this money by being the grandson who cared. He visited me every week. He called me every day. He treated me like a person, not an obligation. Jennifer came twice a year and spent both visits asking for money. You came monthly out of duty and couldn't wait to leave. So no, I don't care that Jennifer has children. Having children doesn't entitle you to other people's money. Being kind, loving, and present does. Troy was all 3. You were none. This is my final word. Leave Troy alone or you'll lose the $20,000 I left you as well. Mr. Harrison set the letter down. Your parents have forfeited their $20,000. Per Eleanor's instructions, it now goes to you, bringing your total inheritance to $380,000. I couldn't breathe. There's more, he said gently. Eleanor also anticipated your sister might claim undue influence, that you manipulated her, so she had a full psychiatric evaluation done 6 months before her death. The doctor confirmed she was of sound mind, under no coercion, and making informed decisions. It's all documented. Why didn't she tell me? She said you'd argue, you'd try to talk her out of protecting you, so she did it quietly. He slid another document across the desk. This is a restraining order, pre-drafted, signed by a judge, waiting only for your signature to activate. If your parents or Jennifer continue to pressure, harass, or threaten you over the inheritance, this goes into effect immediately. Eleanor arranged everything. I signed it. My hand barely shook. One more thing, Mr. Harrison said. He pulled out a small envelope. Eleanor left this for you, to be opened only if they tried to take your inheritance. I opened it. Inside was a birthday card. Not for my 40th. This was dated 2 years ago, my 38th. The front said, "To my favorite grandson." Inside, she'd written, "Troy, if you're reading this, they've shown their true colors. I'm sorry. I hoped I was wrong, but if I'm right and they've tried to take what's yours, I want you to know something. You don't owe them your money. You don't owe Jennifer your future. You don't owe anyone an explanation for being child-free. You are enough exactly as you are. Use this money to build the life you want. Travel, invest, retire early, spoil yourself for once. You've spent 40 years being the responsible one who never asks for anything. It's your turn, and if your parents can't understand that, that's their failure, not yours. I love you, I'm proud of you, and I'm so glad I got to know the man you became. Happy birthday, whenever you're reading this. Love, Grandma Eleanor. I sat in that office and cried. Mr. Harrison gave me privacy. When I finally composed myself, he said, "What would you like me to do?" "Send them the letter and the court order. Let them know if they contact me again about the inheritance, the restraining order goes active." Done. Anything else? Yes, I want to set up a trust for Jennifer's kids, not accessible until they're 21. College fund, $15,000 each. It's not their fault their mom and grandparents are like this. Mr. Harrison nodded. Eleanor would have liked that. And the rest? The rest is yours. Do with it what you want. The letter was delivered Tuesday, the court order Wednesday. Thursday, my phone rang. Dad. "Troy, we need to talk."
No, we don't. Mr. Harrison sent Grandma's letter. You forfeited your $20,000. If you contact me again about the inheritance, the restraining order activates. Do you understand? Silence. This is ridiculous, he finally said. We're your parents. You're people who tried to steal my inheritance. I set up trust funds for Jennifer's kids, $15,000 each for college. That's more than generous considering they're not entitled to anything. We raised you better than this. No, Grandma raised me better than this. You just fed me. I hung up. Mom called an hour later. I let it go to voicemail. She cried about family and fairness, and how could I be so cruel? I didn't call back. Jennifer sent a text. I hope you're happy, living alone with your money while my kids suffer. I blocked her number. That was 4 months ago. I've used $30,000 of the inheritance so far, paid off my car, took a trip to Japan I'd always wanted to do, set up the trust funds for the kids. The rest is invested, quietly growing. My parents haven't contacted me since the restraining order threat. Jennifer tried once through a mutual friend, asking for money for emergency car repairs. I said no. Her car is fine. I checked her Facebook.
I changed my number, moved to a new condo in a different neighborhood, started therapy to unpack 40 years of being the forgotten child, and I sleep well at night knowing my grandmother saw me, really saw me, and made sure I was taken care of even after she was gone. The world loves to tell you that people without kids are selfish, that we don't understand sacrifice or love, that we don't deserve the same consideration as parents because we have it easy. But here's what I learned. Having kids doesn't make you noble. It makes you a parent. And being a parent doesn't entitle you to other people's resources, sympathy, or inheritance. My grandmother left me her money not because I was child-free. She left it to me because I showed up. I cared. I was present. That birthday dinner taught me something valuable. Sometimes the family who claims they love you will try to take everything you have the moment they think you don't need it as much as someone else. And the right response isn't to give in, it's to protect what's yours and let them face the consequences of their actions. Grandma Eleanor knew my parents would try this. She planned for it. She protected me even after death. That's love. Real, unconditional, protective love. Everything else is just obligation dressed up as family. Troy's story keeps me up at night because it's so common it hurts. What actually happened here? Troy's parents didn't suddenly decide on his birthday to steal his inheritance. They'd been planning it for a year, since Grandma Eleanor told them she was leaving everything to him. They sat on that information, waiting for her to die, then tried to redistribute her money according to their values, not hers. That's not family looking out for each other. That's people deciding a legal will doesn't matter because they disagree with it. And the child-free angle, that's the socially acceptable discrimination nobody talks about. You don't have kids, so you don't need it, is a statement so normalized that Troy's parents said it at his birthday dinner like it was obvious logic. Imagine saying, you're not married, so you don't need your salary, or you don't have a mortgage, so you don't deserve a promotion. It's absurd. But when it's about being child-free, suddenly it's fair. Jennifer's not a villain. She's a product of 40 years of getting everything she wanted by claiming need. When you reward someone's choices with endless support while punishing someone else's choices with neglect, you create this dynamic. Jennifer genuinely believed she deserved Troy's inheritance because she's been trained her whole life that her needs trump everyone else's. What breaks my heart is that Grandma Eleanor knew. She saw the pattern. She tried to fix it the only way she could, with a bulletproof will and letters from beyond the grave. She died knowing her family would try to hurt Troy, and she spent her final years building legal walls to protect him. The one lesson here. Your life choices don't determine your worth, and they definitely don't entitle other people to your resources. Having kids is a choice. Not having kids is a choice. Neither one makes you more or less deserving of love, respect, or inheritance. Troy earned that money by showing up for his grandmother for 5 years, not by reproducing or not reproducing, by being present. Here's what I can't figure out. Should Troy have given Jennifer's kids more than $15,000 each, or was even that too generous? Because part of me thinks those kids didn't choose their mom or their grandparents, and a good college fund could change their lives. But another part of me thinks Troy doesn't owe them anything. Grandma left the money to him, not them. By giving them $45,000 total, is he perpetuating the pattern of the child-free person sacrificing for the parent's choices? And here's the question that haunts me. If Grandma Eleanor hadn't prepared for this, if she'd just left a normal will and trusted her family to do the right thing, would Troy have caved? Would he have handed over that $340,000 to keep the peace like he'd been keeping the peace for 40 years? What would you have done? Given more to the kids? Given everything to Jennifer to avoid the fight? Or done exactly what Troy did, protected what was yours and let the chips fall where they may? Drop your thoughts, because I think a lot of us have been in some version of this story, where family decides we don't need something as much as someone else. And I want to know, where's the line?